Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on SAP UI5. In the last episode on SAP UI5, we saw how to navigate from one view to another view using app control. We saw the disadvantage of that app control for navigation. We also discussed about how can we use the toolbar in the footer and as well as into the header content of a page control. We also looked at the capability of user experience what SAP Fiori gives us by looking at one of the mobile example into the system. So let's go ahead and talk about the Fiori application continuation. And now in today's session, we will start first with the list control in the Fiori application. So what exactly is a list control in SAP Fiori? It's one of the most powerful control you would find it across the Fiori library. I have not seen a single Fiori application which doesn't use this control, guys. Till date, I have not seen a single Fiori app which doesn't use this control called list control. Okay. Every transactional app which I've seen till date all has list control. So what is a list control? List control in Fiori is a single column table. Okay. It is a single column table control. It displays multiple items inside. Okay, it displays multiple items inside. So list has two parts. One is the header of the list and another is the items of the list. So on the top of the list you will see the header of the list, and then below you see all of them are items of the list. So you have item 1, you have item 2, you have item 3, and so on. So multiple items are added as part of list control. Clear everyone? How exactly list control looks like? Now, there is another interesting point to note here. For a list control, each item what you see is is different. Could be different or could be same. Typically we keep them same, but there are different variety of these items which you can choose from. Okay. The class, the object or the class from where these items are fetched is sap.m dot list item base class. This is the class from where all the items are fetched from. And then there are child classes of this list item base class. Let me quickly tell you those child classes. So then we have sap.m dot display list item. Okay, this is one of the child class of list item. This is one of the child class of list item base class, guys. Display list item. Okay, so you see here there are different variety of list items which we have it over here. Let me just quickly try to put them up. So there are many of them which I will be demonstrating to you into this session. So we have display list item, and then we have standard list item. Then we have something called an action list item, or I would say object list item. Then we have something called a feed list item. Okay. Then we have something called a column list item. We have something called custom list item. We have something called input list item. We have something called action list item. So you see there are different variety of list items available in Fiori, and they're all inheriting from the list item base class. This is the base class from where all these items are inherited from. Clear everyone? This is the base class from where all these items are inherited. Okay. Hope you all understood what exactly is happening here in case of a list item case. So this is how you build a list item, and you can choose one of these type of list items to create your item inside of list control. Now, one another important point to note that this is a list item class, but there has to be also a class which points to this whole list, and that class is sap.m.list class. This is the class which is the class with which you create the list control itself. And then there is a parent class of this list class, and the class name is sap.m.list base class. This is the parent class of the list class, guys. Clear, everyone? It's a parent class for the list class. And then there is an inheritance which is being done here between them. So you can see here there is, sorry, an aggregation which is being done with the items aggregation. So if you see, list base class has something called an items aggregation. Okay, it has something called an items aggregation. With this items aggregation, the exactly you are doing the right thing. With items aggregation, you are embedding multiple items inside the list class. Is that clear, everyone? There is a list class with which you create this whole of list. Now inside the list there is a parent class called list item base class, sorry, list base class, sorry. And then this has items aggregation with which you are connecting to list item base class, which has childrens of different variety of list items. Let's check this out in UI5 SDK quickly. So I go back to SAP UI5 SDK and search for my class sap.m.list class. So I come to API reference, search for the list class. There you go. This is the list class, you can see. Can you tell me what is the base class for the list class as per our PPT? What is the base class for the list class? Anybody? What is the base class for the list class? Anyone who will tell me what is the base class for the list class? Which is the base class? List base class is the base class. Just come back to SDK and check this. You can see this is the base class. Now, if I go to aggregations here, you see I don't find an aggregation called items. I don't find an aggregation called items. What do I do? I don't find an aggregation called items. How do I create items in the list then? Go to its parent class, list base class, and then check it out its aggregations. So check out the aggregations of the parent class, and then hopefully if I go in, you can see there is an items aggregation, right? So it's there in the parent class, so it gets inherited to the child also. Now tell me what is each type item is of type. Anyone? What is each item is of type? What is each? It's list item base class. You see, list item base, and that's what is also done in the PPT. You see, it's connecting to list item base class. Now if you look at any of these list item types available in SAP Fiori, you will find all of them inherit from this list item base class actually. So let's go back. Maybe I search for display list item. You see here it is. I get into it, and then you'll see its base class is list item base class, which was aggregating to the items aggregation of the list control. Clear, everyone? Hope it's all clear in the system now before we proceed to the example. So let's move on and try to create a very simple list control in the system. So I will start with the with our main view, and inside this time the content, we are going to create a list control. So let's create a list control over here. Just also good to give an ID of the list control. I say ID list, and that's a very simple list control, gentlemen, over here on your screen. Okay, let's go ahead and execute it. So I just execute it, and Then let me just open it in a new window so I can do alt tab to shift it quite fast. That gives me a kind of a flexibility to switch between input and output quite faster. Okay, so now it seems like there's nothing coming up. So console is our best friend. Let's check it out in the console. I think it didn't load only properly, so maybe just got to close this and re-execute it from here. Looks like something wrong with my web IDE. Let me resume. Let me restart my Orion server. I'm just quickly going to go back and restart my Orion server. Okay, so let me do so. I restarted my Orion server. Yes, I restarted it, and let me just re-execute, restart my web IDE too, so that we can just go ahead. So sometimes it may happen, it's just a system. So let's come back and run this time. Do you see a list control? Anybody? Do you see a list control on the UI? Is it visible or not visible? Anybody? Is the list control visible to you or not visible? You don't see? Oh my god, how is that possible? You don't see the list control on the UI? Don't see the list control on the UI now? Yes, you can see. So you see clearly if I show you, this is the title of the page. This is your search field. And this is your list control with no data at the moment in this. Now, anyone who will tell me what is the corresponding HTML tag for list control? Anybody? Remember our basic chapter? This is a question from basics. Perfect answer. Udit has got it right. It's UL tag or OL tag, ordered list or unordered list. Inside UL and OL, what do we do to add items? What do we do to add items inside the UL and OL? Anyone? What do we do to add items? We do li. Perfect answer. List items. Let's look at the DOM for this now. Right away in the system. Right click here. Inspect the element. Look at its DOM. Can you see in the DOM what is it? Can you see in the DOM what is it? Anybody? It's a UL tag. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing but a list control which has list item, and currently there's only one list item showcasing you no data for you. Hope it's clear you are able to connect to the basics. What SAP UI5 doing for you is just converting your code to equivalent HTML which browser can understand directly. Okay. Hope all the pictures, all things what we learned in the past are all connecting together. Okay. Wow. Now time to add, display some values inside. So anybody who will tell me which aggregation shall I use for my list control? Just now I showed you in SDK. Which aggregation shall I use to display multiple items inside the list? And of course, Udit has got it right this time. It's items aggregation. Just now we saw that. So that's an items aggregation I'm creating. And inside this now I can put a variety of items which I just showed you. Let's start first with something called a display list item. A display list item is meant for the purely for the purpose of displaying the data. Okay, it is meant for the purpose of just displaying some values. Now let's look at SDK and look at its documentation. Display list item, it has properties like label and value pair. Now you may also ask this question, number, why we have so many variety of display list items, list items? The reason is the kind of the nature of requirement you get, that particular type of list item you can choose from. So display list item is suitable only for simple label value pair of data, simple data, without any icon, without any images, without any links, without any pictures, without any numbers. It is just for a display label value pair data. That's what it can be used for. So if you come back to SDK and check the documentation, it has a label and a value pair. So I'm just going to go back and put label over here, and I'll say label is, let's say, apple, and I'm just going to use value, and the value of this app, this is going to be, let's say, the color of the apple is red. That's my display list item type. Let's come back and see the magic on the screen. You should see our first list item would be appearing on the UI. I'll just squeeze it like a mobile view, refresh, and voila, superb. Congratulations, you have created your list control successfully with the first list item of type. Which type of list item I created? Anybody? Which type of list item I created here? Which type of display list item? Perfect answer. It's a display list item. गौर से देख लो ऐसा दिखता है. Okay. गौर से देख लो ऐसा दिखता है. Display list item ऐसा दिखेगा. If I want to now create another variety, I have lot of different varieties to choose from. Just the way you go to a shop, you want to purchase apparel, you go to showroom, you see different brands and different varieties. Same thing happening here. You are doing a shopping of list items and there are different variety for you to choose from. Choice is yours. SAP gives you an offer. Choice is yours. So let's use the next one, which is standard list item. And the properties of this, I got to go back to SDK and check out for the properties of standard list item. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Standard list item. Go to its properties. You see there's a title, description, and icon also. You can also give an icon along with this. Okay. You can give a nice icon. Title, description, and icon. So let's go back and try to create title, description, and icon. Title property, description property, and an icon property. End it. So there are two ways to end a tag. One is you put the ending tag directly like this. This is one technique. Second technique is you just put a slash and it will end your tag. So many times you see in some projects people ending tag like just with a slash here itself. They don't put a explicit ending tag. Okay guys, this is also one way to end a tag. Just put a slash and it's ended. But if you need aggregation like here, items aggregation, then you have to put ending tag and inside this put your aggregated items. Okay, so then you can't use item slash here because you got to give an aggregation. It has to encapsulate inside. That's why we don't use with items a direct slash here, otherwise it would have ended here itself. But this is one good way of also defining your elements. Let's put some properties. I put oranges, and then I put description is rich in vitamin C, and then I just put a quick icon, SAP hyphen icon colon slash slash home icon I'm putting. Let's come back and refresh. And there you go, guys. The next list item. You see, do you see a difference between these two brands? You're purchasing apparels, you have different choices of brand. Do you see a difference in each of these brands? The display list item and the standard list item. Do you see a difference in these two brands? Is it visible or not? Anyone? Do you think there is a difference in both the brands for which you're purchasing the apparels for? Absolutely, yes. There is. It's a normal display list item and this is a standard list item. The look and feel is different. That's exactly the difference between different variety of list items. Their look and feel is different. Okay, that's my second list item type, which is called standard list item. Let's move on to the next one. And next we will talk about the input list item. Input list item is mainly built for the purpose of putting input fields. So now inside this you can put multiple variety of input fields or elements which accept input fields. So I will first put maybe a label, and for this label I will give text property as please enter how many kiwis you need. Yeah, That's an input list item symbol, and then I would just put an input tag inside. Remember, I am into SAP EM library, SAP M library, very important. So there is no text field control here, it's an input control. That's my input list item. Let's come back, refresh and experience the input list item, how it looks. You see how it looks. It looks like this, but it looks dirty, so maybe we will reduce the size of the input field quickly. So we'll reduce the size of this input field, say width equals to, maybe I just make it 20 pixels. Refresh, and you see it comes here, and you see a label. This is your input list item. Maybe I enter some quantity in this, maybe just let's increase it to 50 pixels, and also I reduce a little bit of its height to 10, 15 pixels. Refresh, and you see I can now enter some quantity for which I want to purchase. That's my input list item, not used much. Okay, we don't use it much because you have to then do all the CSS, basically all the styling. You need to make this label left aligned, all that alignment you need to do it yourself by putting some controls. Okay, so that's why we don't use it much. Okay, that's an input list item. Moving next, after the input list item, we have the next variety of list item called custom list item. Custom list item is used for the purpose where none of the list item suiting your need. You want to completely design your own list item with your own controls inside. You can go with custom list item. Maybe I take an example of putting a switch, or first I'll put quickly a label, and then I say text of this label, and I say, do you want cash on delivery? Okay, so cash on delivery, do you want a cash on delivery? And just want to create this, and then what I'll do is I create here a switch control inside of my custom list item. Let's come back and refresh, and you see, do you want cash on delivery, and there's a nice switch control available as part of your custom list item. So none of these list items which are offering standard properties to you suit your purpose, need suit your need. You can go with the custom list item, guys. Clear, everyone? What is custom list item used for? So now let's move on to the next variety of list item, which is my favorite and everybody's favorite, what SAP is known for. SAP is known for its business objects, and this list item fits into the definition of a business object, a typical business object, and that's called object list item, the most powerful list item of them all, most used and most powerful of them all. Object list item suitable for displaying business objects. Okay, suitable for displaying business objects. So it has different properties like title, it has description, sorry, it has introduction of business object, number, it has number unit, and then it has something called um, so title, intro, number unit, and icon. These are all the properties it has. Okay, object list item, very powerful one. And now inside of this I can put different values. So I can say pineapple, good for healthy skin, and then I say it is 500 INR per kilogram, and then I'll say icon is SAP hyphen, or maybe I want to get this time an icon from internet, so I go to internet and search for pineapple. Okay, I go there, I go to images, and you see a lot of images over here. Maybe right click on one of them and say copy image address. Okay, I'm just copying the image address, or copy link address also, you can do whichever you like. I copy the link address and paste the link over here. Okay guys, I paste the link over there, and that's it. Let's come back and see this business object being displayed. Refresh. Oops, some problem, we did some mistake somewhere for sure. We did some mistake somewhere for sure. Who will help me is the console who will help me. Press F12. Let's come back. There is some problem, you see uncaught error in main view XML. There is some problem. I've done it in main view XML, which is causing me which is costing me this much. So what is that I have done wrong? Let me be sure. Now does it tell me somewhere the line number? Not yet. It is not telling me a line number. So what is the issue? Somewhere we should see file not found, parse error, view XML. What did we do wrong? File not found error is coming. Let me remove the object list item before that itself was coming up. So I just make sure that is this causing the issue? Yes, that was is causing the issue. Again put object list item, and I would see, I think it's the icon which is causing the issue. Let me just remove the icon first of all and just see at least this much working fine. Yes, this much is working fine. You see, good for healthy skin, pineapple, and see the beauty. It automatically aligns your number and number unit on the extreme right corner. That's the beauty of this object list item. It aligns your number and number unit always on extreme right, title and description intro on the extreme left on the top. This is the beauty of this control. Object list item used in heavily in business transactional and analytical apps where you want to display business objects, be a sales order, be a purchase order, accounting document, purchase requisition, okay, anything for that matter, goods, post goods issue, delivery document, lot of business object. SAP is all about business objects. So you to display such business objects, we heavily use this object list item control. Very powerful and very well designed, very responsive in nature. If I just make it big, it will automatically adapt the same way. If I make it small, it will adapt it's the same way. So that's the beauty of this object list item. There is a question here, and the question is, there won't be any ID or key attribute for these list item. There will not be any, but if you want, you can yourself decide it. Okay, I will show you that. So what will happen, typically we don't create each type of list item like this. So we do the binding to create them, and binding would automatically assign an ID, but we don't assign an ID to each of the item. I will come to this point later, you will understand. So please park your question at the moment. Now the question comes is the icon part. Why my icon was not coming? So let me just try to put once again my icon, and now inside of this I'll paste my URL. So where is my URL for pineapple? Let me just go back. Where is it gone? I search for pineapple again and go to images and maybe get this image from here. Right click, copy image link, copy link address, or maybe I'll go with copy image address, and let's come back and paste it over here. Save this. Let's see if everything got copied properly. Let me just check that. Okay, there is no double quote here, it seems like. Yeah, this looks okay. It's looking okay for me. Save this and let's come back and refresh, and voila, you see the pineapple image is popping up now as part of icons of my object list item. Guys, clear everyone? How did it work? So that's your object list item control. So let's come back and review once what all we've seen. We've seen display list item, pure for display purpose. Standard list item, again more useful for display purpose for small objects with a picture. Then object list item, the most important one, to display business object with its number unit and stuff like that. You can do more. Suppose I want to also add more properties to a list item. This is the most suitable object this list item available. So you can go ahead and add more properties to it, as many you want. So you can add an aggregation called attributes. Okay, This is an aggregation, and in this now you can add infinite number of properties. So maybe I just want to add an attribute called object attribute. That's an aggregation. And then I say title. Sorry, I think it's a text property in object attribute, and I say supermarket price. That's an extra text I want to display along with it. So I can come back, refresh, and you see it displays me supermarket price at the bottom. Yeah, so there are infinite number of extra elements for business object you can add using attributes aggregation. There is also another aggregation called statuses. Okay, statuses, and in this you can add a control called object status, and then you can say state property, which I will talk about later. I'll just put first the text property to display status of this product, if this product is available or not available. So I'll say this product is available. That's my status I'm putting. I can come back, refresh. It doesn't appear because my aggregation is wrong. It's statuses. I think that's the right aggregation. Refresh. It's not coming. So I need to go and check object list item. What is the aggregation name? Let's go back to SDK, and you see object list item over here. And in this you can go and check the aggregations. So there is an aggregation called first status and second status. Okay, so I think it's not statuses, it's first status. You can give two statuses for any object list item. I give it, and now let's come back and refresh. You can see the status is available. So it's very suitable for displaying business object data, guys. Very powerful. Always whenever your company is asking you to build an application, master detail kind of app, always use object list item. That's my recommendation to you. Okay, now I want to change the color of the status to green. Then that's where the state property comes into picture. You just put the state as something with which system can recognize it. It's a green color. So there is an object status control in UI5. Let's come back and check that up. Object status code, and I can come here to this object status object, the control. Go to its properties, and you find title, text, state property. See, and inside this state property you can see the values which are available. So there is something called error, none, success, and warning. So you can directly copy and paste this success for green color. So you can come here and put this success over here, and let's come back and refresh the page. Oops, I think it's just I have to put success, not the constant value. Refresh, and you see it turned into the green color. You may not be able to see it much, but yes, it turned into green color. Let me make it a little bigger and to show you. Now hope you can imagine or can visibly experience that it is in the green color, guys. Okay, it turned into the green color. Now so same, if I want to say this is error and refresh, you can now make it that it's turned into the red color. So object status is what is a control responsible for doing it, and since we are displaying in the first status, it's right aligned at the bottom. Why it is right aligned at the bottom? Because this is displayed inside first status control. It's displayed inside first status. First status is an aggregation of your object list item control, which always puts the content on the right side bottom. Clear, everyone? That's exactly we have it, whole thing. So object list item, guys, very powerful, very amazing stuff. Now let's move on to more parts. So that's about object list item. What else? What are all the other list items we have? So we have something called also, and another variety of list item called feed list item. So we all use social media like Facebook, Twitter, Google, LinkedIn, Instagram. Yeah, we all have these nice little cute box. What's going on today? What's new today? Right? So how do they create it? Something of that kind is feed list item. It's used to display feeds for social media type of application. So let's look at the properties of feed list item on here. So I just come and search for feed list item. There you go. And let's quickly experience feed list item over here. Go to properties, and you see there's an icon property, there's an active icons, there's a sender, there is a text, and there is an info, there's a timestamp. So let's quickly use them. So I use an icon property. So maybe just go back and use an icon property, and I'm going to get as avatar inside this in a minute. And then I will say sender, who sent this item to me. So who is the sender? And I say it's Anubhav Oberoi. And then comes is the text property, and I say text is, I say hey WhatsApp. And then we have maybe info, don't want, maybe I just want also the timestamp. Let's look at, it's a string guys, so that's okay, completely fine. Timestamp equals to, I just put March 20th 2018. And now I can come here and put an icon. So let me just get an icon from internet. So I say avatar social media. There are a lot of avatar images. You can see here beautiful avatar images on social media. So maybe I can use this guy, or maybe just a chat window something. Yeah, this one looks good. So Jill, let's say copy image address and come back here to the icon and paste it, the whole icon inside. Let's experience the feed list item on the UI. Refresh, and voila, you see Anubhav Oberoi here. What's up today? The image is not coming. There's some problem with the image. I'm just going to get another one. So maybe, yeah, this one. Let's try this one. Copy image address and just bring it on in here. Save this and let's refresh quickly. Now it's still not coming. We have something really terrible going on with the image. We right click, copy link address I'm doing, and try to put the link address over there into the web IDE. And let's come back, refresh. Oops, the whole thing goes away with the link address at least. Maybe just go back, right click, copy image itself. I can't do it. Copy image to new tab, save image. Maybe I'll save this image. Okay, I'll save this image on my computer and in batch 16, and I say images and I say save, and let me open this image quickly, and I'm just going to upload this image to the project. Okay, so I come back to our project, create a new folder called images, and right click, import from file system, browse, and just going to upload this images, and I'm just going to give the path for this image over here. So let's give the path images slash images.jpg. Save this and let's come back, refresh the page, and voila. Yes, how good it looks. You can see the image is coming up for the person who sent you a feed. Now just to on the same note, if I want to quickly show you one chat bot which I created. So what I've done is I have created an amazing concept called chatbot. What is a chatbot? Machine learning algorithm I have used, and using the machine learning algorithm, what it does is it automatically sends messages. Okay, it automatically sends messages to you. Okay, so let me just quickly show you. I created that using HANA Access. So for that complete code, how it was created completely, how it is built, and everything is actually already covered in my HANA Access course, or also there's a free video on Anubhav's learning series where I've created it. But let me quickly show you running it over here. So in that Fiori application, I have actually used something called a machine learning library in access.js, and also the feed list item to display the text to the user. Okay guys, so this is what exactly I've done into this particular example, just to show you the chatbot. In a second, let it load. So I've used feed list item for the purpose. Now moving to the next one. So we saw feed list item. Column list item is something which we will look at only in the tables, guys. So right now this is out of scope. Then custom list item we saw, input list item we saw, and now time for action list item quickly. So let's go ahead and create an action list item over here by the time my HANA loads. So I'll just go to action list item. Okay, it's still loading. So I just come and add an action list item, and now I just add something inside this. So I don't know the properties for this. I can just go to SDK and check SDK boss tell me the property for action list item, and then go to properties, and you see there's a text property only, and it just come back and just add this text property, and I say order now. Save this. Let's come back and refresh the page, and voila, what you see at the bottom is order now button. So every item of an action list item is a clickable element, so you can click on it, and then of course you can find an event which you can code against, and it will then accordingly take you to the next screen or whatsoever code you will write in the button click. Clear everyone? Different variety of list item is just that different variety of brand, the way you shop into an online store or apparel store. There are different variety of brands, different variety of list item types which you can choose from. Okay, this is what exactly it's all about. So now maybe I'll just show you my chatbot which I've created, and that is using a Fiori based application on top of SAP HANA database, making use of latest concept of SAP HANA Access, and to be able to uh, sent the automatic messages to you. So let me just see, where did I deploy my code? If I can show you that, sample access.js. So Fiori is future, guys. Wherever you go, Fiori is the future. Okay, I think not here. Just check that. Go access demo. Here it is. Yes, this is the one. So I have a machine learning library which responds to your chat messages, and it also talks. Okay, so I've also used a voice synthesizer library of Chrome browser to talk. It will talk actually. So now I just run this application, and you see it says hello, the username, and I will say hello, and say it replies me hello again. Yeah, and then I say, who are you? I am a bot. What are you? How are you? And you see it says pretty well. Yeah, so system is automatically replying. So when you go to a website, some training website or some website, you see a little nice quiet chat window at the bottom right corner on these websites, and the moment you get into website, there is a girl popping up and saying, hey, how are you today? How are you, Mr. Your name, and then say, how can I help you, sir? What do you think? Is that really a girl, pretty girl sitting at the around the corner? No, it's just a chat bot which is being created by by engineers who talks to you, who uses artificial intelligence and machine learning libraries to respond, to understand what text are you typing. This text they will understand, they will convert it, they will, and then they will send you the defined output. Because people who come to a travel website probably want to book a flight ticket or a hotel or something, right? So you are anyways going to ask a question about it, and then what machine does, it understands it, it synthesizes, and then it can extract out the information and then do a query behind the scenes and gets you the output. So that's what I'm using here, an IBM Watson machine learning library which understand the text which I'm typing, and then it converts it to the desired. And so I'll say, who created you? And it says, Anubhav Oberoi created me. Yeah. So I say good to meet you. Glad to meet you, let's say. So if it doesn't understand something, then it says I don't understand. You see, this is what it does. When some text is given which machine learning cannot understand, then it just gives you a predefined sample output. So that's the magic, that's the future, guys. So this is what you see here. This whole thing is a list control, and this list control, I have a feed list item which is keep populating as and when the response comes. Now if you want to understand how did I created this whole application, please go to my website onlinefurytrainings.com. You will find a section called you will find a section called Anubhav's learning series. And in this Anubhav's learning series, I have already put the XSJS programming over here, and you can download the complete source code as it is. In this video, I've explained step by step what am I doing here in this whole of the project, and how then you can download this complete source code, deploy in your computer, in your web IDE. I think it cannot work with your web IDE because it use XSJS server-side JavaScript, which I was telling you the other day in our JavaScript chapter. There are two types. One is client-side and one is server-side. So it only works with SAP HANA, guys. So make use of SAP. If you have SAP HANA system, deploy in your HANA system. It will work with your HANA system, but still a good video to watch for, to get a complete idea how Fiori is helping you to build new user interfaces. Fiori is the technology, whether you're using HANA, native HANA, or ABAP on HANA, or Suite on HANA, or BW powered by HANA, Success Factors, or S4 HANA, whichever product you are using today, Fiori is the front end. Fiori is the only front end you have. You have to learn Fiori, sir. You have to learn Fiori. There is no way out. Even you are an ABAPer, non-ABAPer, whatsoever you are, you have to get into Fiori. You have to. There is no choice. And if you don't change, market will change you, and that time it will be painful experience for you to change. So better change yourself, be flexible, try to learn as much as you can, because if you really want good projects, if you want to continuous growth, this is the technology you should invest in. ABAP कोई नहीं पूछता है, 5,000 में ABAP डेवलपर मार्केट में अवेलेबल है, कोई नहीं पूछता है ABAP. Java कोई नहीं पूछता है, nobody asks Java. 5,000 last month I hired a Java developer, 8,000 rupees per month. This is the situation for Java developers. Nobody asks. So if you want good package, you expect 20 lakh, 25 lakh in annum, go for Fiori. Go for Fiori. Go for UI5 Fiori, which you are already doing it. And you would see some results. If you are doing hard work, then you would see some results in your career for this. That's a feed list item. Great. So all the list items we have experienced it by now. Now imagine what will happen. So Samir has sent me the JSON which I had asked yesterday to prepare for fruits. So I've already received that JSON. Maybe I'll quickly show that up on my downloads folder. It is available. So this is the fruits.json which Samir has created. Thank you, Samir, for that. And now in this, you see there are about, let's say, 500 fruits. Okay, there are about 500 fruits, guys. So what do you think? These 500 fruits, will I go and create these 500 list items manually? Will I go and create these 500 list items inside my list manually for these 500 fruits? Anybody? Do you think I need to create them manually here for all the 500 fruits? Do you think I need to create them manually? Anyone? Does it make sense to create? And let's imagine you have a data coming from Mara table or sales order table. What will you do? Will you create those materials manually as a list item? Of course not. Which technique do you use? Yes, you use binding. And items is which type of binding? What is items? Is it a property? Is items is a property of a list control? Which type of binding you will use? I need exact name. Absolutely right, Raji. We use aggregation binding. If Raji can answer, you can also answer. I don't know why people don't answer. This gives me kind of a lack of confidence that you're not getting things which I'm teaching you. So if there's something wrong in me, please let me know so I can correct it, so that you can understand it better. If there is something wrong in you, then you need to correct it, guys. I can correct it from my side, but you need to correct it from your side. At least with couple of answers, I get confidence that what I'm delivering to you, it's reaching to you. Okay, very important. Okay, so let's create an aggregation binding for items of the list control to bring in all the items quickly on the UI. I'll comment out all this code of list. I'll comment this out, and I create a new list where I have a binding now. So I create a list control with an ID equals to ID fruits, and then I just put it here, and then inside of this fruits I'll put something called items equals to, and now here we're gonna do the binding, okay, for the items. So let's save this first of all and ready to create a model. Let's come back here. I'm gonna first upload the local data. So let's right click, create a new folder, and I say local data, and in this I'm gonna upload the JSON. So I say new file, and I say fruits.json, which Samir has created for us. Just put that up, and I just copy this entire JSON, paste it over here, save it. Before that, I just cut it, go to JSON lint. Before I put anything coming from outside, I just want to verify that. Okay, so something which I use, I first verify if it is correct, and I just validate. Yes, it seems to be a valid JSON. Thank you. And just come here, paste it, the fruits JSON. We are ready with the fruits. So you just to observe, there is a supplier entity as expected, a city entity, and there is also fruits entity. So there are three main entities as part of my JSON: suppliers, city, and fruits. Clear, everyone? Three tables. Perfect, Samir. You've done it absolutely as expected. But I suspect your fruits, these URLs are not correct. You see, there are some URLs with web app. I think these URLs are probably can hamper me, but otherwise everything looks smooth. But let's go ahead and test it. So now there are three entities. I'm going to create now a model out of it. So let me go to model, and I say create fruit model, and just use function, and I'll say var model JSON model, local data slash fruits.json. Perfect. And now just going to use this into my init. My model, that's a dependency, and create the fruit model object for you, and then set this model at the application level, or maybe I'm just setting it at the view level, okay, as a default model. Maybe I'll set it at application level as a default model, and the previous one which I use, I just rename it to, let's say, single. Okay, so now I have two model. One is one JSON model with that, the one which we created yesterday to transfer the data, which is not global, and the fruits model is the global model now for me. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the binding, because you have done the model setting as a global model, and the system now can recognize those paths quite easily. So I can come to the main view, and I can just put curly braces, and I put the path of my fruits. So what is the path for my table of fruits? Anybody with this JSON, what is the path of my all fruits? Perfect answer, Swami, Samir, Raji, all three of you correct. It's fruits over here. This is the path. So slash fruits. Done. I save this. Let's come back and refresh. Will it get me all the items? Refresh. Nothing happens. Something went bad. press F12 to find out what went wrong, and you see there's a problem in import completed something. It's trying to do some import completed issue. I don't know. JSON model import completed issue is coming. Maybe something wrong with creation of our JSON model. So let me go to the models.js and see what is that import complete issue is. Fruits.json, local data, that's correct path. Load data in O model, everything looks okay, but we forgot to return the model object out. That could be one catch. And I can refresh, and now you see again some issue called this. Yes, we forgot also the new keyword, very important. Thank you so much. This also we forgot. Refresh, and oops, this time I see another error. Yes, it was first because of that. And now I see problem accessing local data fruits.json. It's having a problem accessing this local data fruits.json. So there's a problem in the path local data. Local L is small. Yes, there is a folder called model also, which we are already into, so that doesn't matter. So it's local data. I think it's first the model folder slash local data folder slash fruits.json folder. The complete path I have to put it, guys. So model folder, local data folder, and then fruits.json file. So now refresh, and after 3 fixes, I still don't see anything loading at all. There is no error in the console as well, which means there is something wrong with probably our URLs. Okay, our URLs, like we were seeing earlier, in the URL of our picture, there may be something wrong. It may not be correct. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is, for time being, I'll comment out all the URL parts. Okay, I'll comment out all the URL parts. So these images, I'm removing it right now, Samir. I will put them maybe tomorrow, and to show you just. So right now this could be an issue which can cause it. Rest all the things are normal texts, which seems to be fine, but I suspect these URLs could be an issue because they are ending with web app. Okay, ideally they should be ending with JPG or something, image, really truly an image file they should be, but that's okay. We can just, for time being, remove them, as they can create a problem. Okay, I'm just removing them. He's put very good quality, and the real data which I really wanted. He's put it very good. Yeah, sure. I'm just removing them. Okay, I removed all of them. I save it. Let's quickly validate if it's a valid JSON. Again, go back to JSON link, paste it, validate it's a valid JSON. After the change, make sure that it's valid. And now let's come back and test it one more time. Refresh. Okay, still not working. There's some problem, man. So I guess I unnecessarily removed your images. It's still not working. There is something wrong. It's not giving me an issue also. What's that probably could go wrong? Async parameter needs to be loaded. You mean to say in the bootstrap, the async parameter you want me to load? Okay, let me tell you that, guys, one more interesting point. So what's happening here? No, wait. Let me come back here. So there is also one quick thing I want to first test and then see if that works. cp.ui.getCode dot attach init. Just give me a minute. Let me try putting this code. This code I have not explained you yet till date. So hopefully I should be able to get a chance today to explain this code to all of you. Just give me a second. Let me complete this and see if it works. I can come back now and test it. It's not working, guys. There is something wrong. I need to check that offline. So maybe something wrong which we cannot today fix it. I don't think so. It is fixable today. So maybe I need to cross check that why it is not working with my web IDE. So just give me some time. Maybe I will come back to you tomorrow and we will continue this. So by this time you all can go ahead and practice this. At least create your list control today. Okay, and in tomorrow's class I will come back and show you doing this binding. Okay, so doing this binding, we'll see it in tomorrow's class. Unfortunately I'm not able to show you the output, though there's no error in the console neither. So that's something which is difficult to predict at at the moment. There's some reply here. It says put JSON comma double quote comma false. Lokesh is saying that maybe we can just give a try for that. But something giving a try which you don't know the code, it's always risky. However, let me just do that. So I can come here. So where we creating the JSON model, it's in the models.js, and Lokesh is saying just put a comma, double quote and comma and a false, and save this. And let's come back and give a try. He had this problem, same problem, and it seems like it worked fine after that. So maybe just go ahead and do so. Let me just do so into another window. Run this. No, Lokesh, it's not working. So I don't want to recommend you any code, guys, which we are not learned by far, which we didn't learn by far. Okay, so no, Lokesh, no, Sandeep, that's also incorrect. It's not a named model. Okay, it's not a named model, hence you cannot put the name arrow. Name model only then only you have to put name and arrow, guys. Otherwise you should not put it. It's not a named model. So I think there is some other problem which I probably need to cross check. Okay, I'll just remove this binding right now and see what happens. Let me just remove the binding. At least this should work. This part should work. Yes, it's working. Only part is which is binding right now not working, guys. Okay, maybe I can do one more thing. Just put this items and also add empty items aggregation over here. Okay, this part at least let me try, and let's come back and refresh. No, the moment I'm putting aggregation of my items from fruits, it's not working. Okay, the moment I'm putting aggregation, it's not working. So no problem, I will check that and get back to you why isn't it's not working. So please practice. Let me comment out this piece of code and uncomment the one which we learned today. So today's learning, you limit it till here, and in tomorrow's class I will come back and show you what is that I need to do to make it work. Clear, everyone? So let's practice the list control today, all of you, and then let's meet tomorrow and I will complete this binding part to show you the data gets pulled up from the JSON file. Samir, you don't waste your time anymore on the JSON part. If there is a need to put the images, it's me who has to put it, so you don't spend time on that. Okay, so there's no exercise. Exercise is what we tried today for all the list items. Same thing you tried today for yourself, and also just try if you can do binding for the list from the JSON. Okay, anyways, the JSON is now part of the project. Anyways, I will share the project with all of you, so this JSON will also come to you. Clear? So see you tomorrow, and we will take it from here and try to complete the binding for the list control. I will also check it out why it's not working. Any questions before we close today's class? Anyone? Any questions before we close today's class? No questions? Okay, great. So with that, it's a wrap. See you tomorrow. We'll look at the binding of the list control. Have a nice day and goodbye.